My name is Jeff Bean. I'm Managing Director of the Partner America program of the U.S. Conference of Mayors. And you're probably all wondering, why is the U.S. Conference of Mayors coming to Islip? They don't have a mayor, right? But we made Angie Carpenter an honorary mayor today just so we could come here and do this. But for those that aren't familiar with the Conference of Mayors, it's an organization that's been around for about 70 years, represents cities of 30,000 and greater, and it's nonpartisan, which is nice, you know, because a pothole is not a Democrat or a Republican, it's a pothole. And our mayors, whether Republican, Democrat, or independent, all work together on those local issues, which is nice to see. The role of the Conference of Mayors is to promote the development of effective national urban policy in areas like education, infrastructure, immigration, energy, just to name a few. The conference helps strengthen the federal-city relationship by having meetings with the administration, members of Congress, to push forward our agenda to help cities grow and become stronger. Provides mayors with leadership and management tools, and the most important part of the conference is it gives mayors an opportunity to get together, talk, share ideas, and learn from each other. A lot of times, you know, you may have a problem in your city, you may find out another city already had that problem and solved it. So a lot of sharing. And I think you still get our information even though you're not.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we also send information out every week. Our executive director writes a letter every day on issues. I mean, I don't know if you see Tom's letters, but it's kind of amazing. I don't know when he finds the time, but every day he puts out a letter talking about the highlights of the issues during the day. So the Conference of Mayors, again, works on a lot of issues. One of them they found was an important one was small business. As we all know, it's the engine to the local economy, and it's really important. So about 20 years ago, we formed a partnership called Partner America to work with mayors and local small businesses to help them become more profitable, help them understand the business, and grow. So the Partner America program is here in the New York area, and I was going to have Dennis Ballas, who's our regional director, just give you a few highlights of the program, what we do at the Conference of Mayors and the Partner America program. Dennis?
A couple of you may have run into me at some point. I might have visited your business. I don't know if I look familiar, sound familiar, but maybe you'll remember me a little bit after today. And my name is Dennis Ballas, and I'm the regional director for in the New York area for a program that the United States Conference of Mayors created in 1999. It's a program that can facilitate with growth, with profitability. They partnered with a consulting company named American Management Services. They're the ones with the boots on the ground who actually perform something for you if it was a fit. So, how many business owners do we have here? Oh, that's a good amount. And how many would like to be a business owner? One. Okay. And how many business owners do we have that don't want to be a business owner anymore? 3. Okay. All right. I had some notes and I thought I memorized them, but I guess I didn't. So I'm going to look at them. Don't take any pictures while I'm reading. Please. Okay. So it's a growth and a development program. It facilitates, like I mentioned, sales. It facilitates growth, finding people, getting the best people. Nowadays, what I hear from business owners, because I've been with this program for 12 years, is sales are there. We can't support them. We have too much work. We can't find the right amount of people in order to do so. This is where we might be able to help. Before I continue, I have to thank Angie, Supervisor Angie Carpenter's office for putting this together, the United States Conference of Mayors, Jeff Bean, for participating in this, and of course the presentation of the award for Supervisor Carpenter. Now, Partner America initiative has been existing for about 20 years, and it's the longest running partnership that the United States Conference of Mayors has with the Partner America program. So is anyone here who wants to grow their sales? Okay, that's 1. So everyone else is content. You wouldn't want another penny, all right? Do you want any more money, or do you have enough? No comment. Well, one.
Never know.
Well, okay. Well, here's the good thing. Two things. Behind that door there, I left a few. I don't know if there's any left. There's some books there that the founder of American Management Services wrote. One of you has a book there. Maybe you could pick it up so others can see. Okay, it's called Profits Aren't Everything. They're the Only Thing. And it's written by an ultimate contrarian. It's tough love. But you might be able to get something good for yourself out of the book that might help you in your business. Secondly, today, because of your presence here, whoever would like to can reach out to me. I'll stay here for about an hour after the event is finished. You can give me your business card, and I can come to your business, meet with you, talk about the good stuff, the stuff that's not so good, and I could potentially do something to help you. Just so you know, we have waived all fees or costs related to this because of the event that's happening today. So I can't approve everybody, but whoever does reach out to me, I'll do what I can to see if there's anything we can do to actually help you on your, maybe bridge the gap between where you are and where you'd like to be as a company. Any questions? I think I covered everything. I didn't want to speak too long. I guess I did that. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Dennis. And you didn't have to drive that far, did you, Dennis?
Sorry?
You didn't have to drive that far, did you?
Not that far.
Where do you live?
I live in West Islip. I'll skip the jump from here.
Okay. Good. Well, why we're here today is twofold. One is to celebrate the success of small business here in Islip, but also to recognize Administrator Angie Carpenter for her work, her support on behalf of the small business community here. Small business is big business here in Islip. Supervisor Carpenter has helped create a business-friendly environment, making it easy to start and grow a business here in Islip. Since Angie was appointed as the chairwoman of the IDA in 2015, the agency has approved 73 projects that have made over $700 million in capital investment, and the important thing, retained and added 8,144 jobs. Now, I would applaud for that one. At the beginning of her term as supervisor, Angie created the Airport Advisory Council, comprised of business leaders in the region to promote the benefit of the airport to the business community. And I think we have somebody here from the airport that I met. Yep.
Deputy.
Yep. I shared my horror story about traveling. I should have flown into Islip, but it's a long story, but next time I will. So, yeah. The other thing, Angie also created a business advisory group comprised of small business leaders in the town to assist in streamlining all business permits and approval process, which means she's very open. She wants to hear from the community out there, the people that are the stakeholders. So if there are changes to be made, they can be made to cut through that red tape to make it much easier to work here. Because any of you business owners that have worked in other places know that sometimes that red tape can really bog you down and you don't have anybody to listen to. Here in Islip, you do, which is nice. Each year, Angie recognizes the contributions that small business make to the fabric of your town at the Small Business Awards Luncheon, which recognizes the people that have done the work. So, Islip is lucky to have a friend like Angie, someone who's compassionate, someone that cares, somebody that knows what to do. If she doesn't, she, like I said, reaches out to the community. So we're happy today to recognize her for her efforts on behalf of the small business community. And I'd like to present her with the award that Dennis is supposed to bring up here. On behalf of the U.S. Conference of Mayors, Partner America Program, Small Business Advocate Year Award, presented to Angie M. Carpenter, Supervisor of Islip, New York, for dedication to the small business community.
So much. So this is really cool. Thank you so much for coming this morning, and to Dennis and Jeff for traveling here. I appreciate that. it was so funny because when I first was introduced to Dennis, I said, and where did you travel from? Knowing that the Conference of Mayors is based in Washington and figured they traveled here. And he said, oh, not too far, West Islip. Me too. So we're neighbors and didn't even know that. I'd like to thank the members of the Economic Development Advisory Board, our Airport Advisory Board, our Business Advisory Board members. You all share in this award, really. And everyone in the town, and our Commissioner Ron Meyer is here, Bill Mannix, who heads our IDA, who is the reason why all of these projects happened, with his deputy, John Walzer. They work very, very hard in trying to create that business-friendly atmosphere here in the town of Islip. Our Commissioner of Parks and Public Works, Tom Owens, also making sure that the infrastructure is in place as it should be, again, creating that conducive to business environment. And then my team on the town board, and I'm absolutely delighted that Councilman Jim O'Connor is here, Councilman John Cochran, and representing Councilwoman Mullen, Jeanette. I really know how fortunate I am to have these people who have their feet on the ground in the business community, as I did and still do to a certain degree. I started out as a business owner, got involved in community events, and worked with the Long Island Association, which is our regional chamber of commerce, was the Chamber of Commerce president, and we have some chamber presidents here, Charlie Spencer from the West Islip Chamber of Commerce and some of his board members, and Rick Elmarati from the Holbrook Chamber of Commerce. These are the people who, you know, saying boots on the ground, live it day to day. And it was interesting. I had a meeting the other day about an issue, and someone was trying to put forth an agenda to make things better, but in a way that I felt was kind of contrary to businesses. You know, kind of digging up old issues and researching and finding out that maybe 10 or 20 years ago, when they were given their permission to open their business, they were told that they needed to plant 20 trees and do this and that, and this person discovered that there were only maybe 10 trees instead of 20 and wanted to send a letter and go knocking on their door. And I go, hold on, wait one moment. I said, if I'm there as a business owner and you come tell me, as I'm struggling to make things work, to make sure that the bottom line is reflective of what the goal is, that my employees are happy and satisfied, that I'm, you know, doing everything that I need to do, and you're telling me that I don't have the right kind of tree or I need a couple of more trees, I'm going to tell you to, you know, go packing. And, you know, sometimes we lose sight of the big picture here. We have to be there. In government, we have to be there to be a partner to business. We can't do it alone in government, certainly in this environment where everybody's screaming about taxes. And one of the distinctions that we hold, and not one that we're particularly proud of in the state of New York, is that we're one of the highest tax states in the country. You know, and Long Island is not an easy place to do business. So we, as government officials, have a responsibility to do everything we possibly can to make that environment conducive to the business owner being successful. Because if they're not, we're doomed. We're doomed. I cannot raise taxes, and I'm ever so sensitive to that issue as I stand before you today, because yesterday I spent an hour and a half with the controller going over the budget that we're preparing for next year, and 2 days before that we spent 3 hours together going over all the spreadsheets and the numbers and trying to get to where we need to be, because we in the state of New York have a tax cap that we have to adhere to. We cannot raise, fortunately, the tax cap this year is a little bit more reasonable. It truly is 2%. The first year I got here, the tax cap translated to actually be 0.68% for us, because it varies from municipality to municipality and year to year. So we are struggling to make sure we keep that budget number under that tax cap. Certainly we can pierce a cap, but that's like, you know, not an easy thing to do. You need a supermajority of votes from the board. And we've done that in the past when it's needed and necessary, but with the help of the controller, Joe Ludwig, we're working very hard to get to that point where we can produce a budget that is tax cap compliant. But again, this is so near and dear to my heart, and I accept it very, very gratefully on behalf of everyone that's a part of making Islip business friendly and the place that people not only want to live and work and play, but start a business and be successful as a business owner here in the incredibly wonderful town of Islip. Thank you so much.
Again, congratulations, Mayor. What we wanted to do this morning was, like I said, recognize Angie for her work, but celebrate the work that's been done here in the community by the people in the community. So our next speaker, Bill Mannix, is going to share with you some of the programs they have here in Islip and talk about how that either you can use them here or talk to them afterwards. Bill?
I notice you have to prompt them to clap for me. These are supposed to be my friends in this room. I do look out over the room, and I pretty much know almost everybody in the room, so I promise. I know most of you won't believe it, but I promise I'm going to make this short. The mission of our Office of Economic Development is to help the town of Islip business community to grow, locate, relocate, and invest here. Some of the statistics you already heard that Jeff mentioned. We've had a very, very active 4 years coming out of the Great Recession in the late aughts, I guess is the term that we use. And I want to share with you why we actually do the kinds of projects that we do. I don't want to talk about the programs, but I really want to just talk about the philosophy behind it. We look to invest. That's what we consider our contribution of tax incentives to be. Investment in companies that are growing, as evidenced by both past and future projections in sales, making capital investments, and probably most importantly, growing jobs. If we find those companies and they have a need for expansion, usually in some way related to real estate, then that's what we are interested in doing, and we provide a certain package of incentives through our sister corporations, the Industrial Development Agency and the Economic Development Corporation. We've been successful as evidenced by those statistics, we also, I'd like to say, because we mostly operate in the industrial sector, but we also have a long tradition in Islip with helping to build housing that contributes to the economic growth of Islip and the region. And the reason I say that housing helps contribute is because it's an important component, made especially important on Long Island where the cost of housing is so high that we have trouble retaining employees, and if you can't retain employees, then businesses can't grow, and they want to leave here to find places where those employees are. So everything is so integrated, and we've had a long history of providing assistance for primarily rental housing projects, including in many of our downtown corridors where the policy objective is to provide tax incentives for rental housing and mixed-use development in and around that downtown corridor so that you can put feet on Main Street. And we have many examples through the years of that, many successful examples, and we've actually seen a recent kind of mini explosion of that kind of development coming through our Industrial Development Agency. I just want to close out my remarks by saying much of what we do in the Office of Economic Development is kind of directed from a policy standpoint through our policy advisory board called the Economic Development Commission. Many of those members are here today. Some of those members of the commission have been the recipients of our incentives through the years, and we've kind of stolen them from their companies and had them volunteer their efforts so we can help kind of shape policy within the town. So I'd like to ask the commission members to stand up and take a bow. Thank you very much. They represent a cross-section of the business community, and they give up their time freely, and every once in a while we feed them. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill. And just to add on to what you do, I was a former mayor up in Massachusetts, a small town, about 40,000 people. But the most important person in my administration was my economic development person. Met with them twice a week, 3 times a week, because without the growing business or keeping the businesses that are there, the city wasn't going anyplace. So I'm sure you have a great relationship. It sounds that way. Keep it going. Congratulations. Now, I got here I got here late. I was fortunate to have a discussion with our next panelist. And again, this is music to any mayor's ears when you hear that she's able to bring or keep manufacturing jobs here on Long Island. You don't hear that too often anymore. So I'd like to have, is it Teresa? Yeah, Teresa Farah, come up and shout out what you're doing there.
Well, good morning. First and foremost, I have to say, congratulations, Angie. As a business owner of a small business right here in the town of Islip in Ronkonkoma, I have to say you're doing a fantastic job. And I have to say there's no one that I know that's more deserving of that award. So congratulations to you. I'd also like to tell you a little bit about East West and what I believe the success that East West has seen over the past couple of years has been because of this partnership with Angie, Bill, John, and that entire team to help us to our recent success. So East West, for those that don't know us, East West is a woman-owned small business located right here in Ronkonkoma. We are an engineering manufacturing firm. And yes, everybody, I said manufacturing firm right here on Long Island. Because so many people think that manufacturing is dead, is gone on Long Island. When Grumman left, it was gone. I have to tell you, it is alive and well here on Long Island. And we are one of those success stories. So I want to be brief as much as I can, but I am a woman, so I speak a little bit longer than some of those men. But I really believe what we have to share with you is East West has just entered our 50th year in business. That's 50. East West was founded by my parents, Mary and Dom Spinoza, back in Belmore, New York. My dad was a mechanical engineer. My mom had a finance background, and they wanted to follow the true American dream, starting a business right here on Long Island. They started the business, and we are a supporter of the military. What we do is we manufacture life support equipment for the military. And I think everybody in this room knows either a man, woman, neighbor, friend, cousin, uncle that is willingly serving our country right now. What our job is in the products that we do is make sure that they come home safely to their families. So our systems are oxygen systems that pilots and co-pilots use, survival kits that those pilots use on that fixed-wing aircraft, helicopter seating on all rotary aircraft for the Army, for the Marines, for the Navy, for the Air Force. We make sure that our products manufactured right here and are supported by our local supply base right here on Long Island can bring those men and women home safely. But when we were introduced to Bill and his team, East West, we had grown our business from 1968, started as a small 2-person operation. We went through our growth expansion, but about 4 years ago, we had realized that our customers, the end user is the military, but who are our customers? The Boeings, the Sikorskys, the Lockheeds, the Northrop Grummans. They were coming to us and saying that they wanted to provide us more contracts, but they were concerned at the tight space that we were in. They would literally say, in our 30,000 square foot building, where are you going to manufacture that next product for us? We were performing well for quality, delivery, our affordable pricing on the product, but we had no more expansion space. So we were located still in Ronkonkoma. We were about 50 employees, but realized we needed to make that decision and we needed to grow. However, we were certainly growing, and there were many people out of state that wanted to draw us into their areas because they saw the development that we were doing. But we worked very closely with the IDA to realize that what made us successful to have those 50, 55 employees at that time to grow were those employees. And we know if we moved further away, we would lose that tribal knowledge that made us so successful. So we worked very closely to find a perfect opportunity to keep us here in the town of Islip, retain those employees, but most importantly, grow our workforce. I have to say that with the assistance of the town of Islip and the IDA, we are now in a 50,000 square foot facility, 1 block from Islip Airport, located right on Vets Highway. It is a beautiful facility, but not only did we grow in size, we have now grown to 82 employees as of today. That is a remarkable growth. And what we're looking to do is, Dennis, I'm going to take you up on that offer. I don't want to stop here. I want to keep growing, because if East West succeeds and the employee base succeeds, all of those local manufacturers that support East West will also succeed. And that's truly my vision and my goal for East West. So with that, I welcome anyone to come visit us, come see me afterwards. I will tell you I won't be here too long, because with some of this partnership with the town of Islip, East West is going to the Hauppauge Industrial Association today to go receive the Business Achievement Award. We are one of the finalists. Thank you. I welcome anyone to come to our facility. Most importantly, meet those people that are making sure that our product gets into the hands of those men and women protecting all of us and bring them home safely to their families. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Teresa. One person I wanted to thank is Caroline Smith. Where is she? Caroline has been my contact for this, helping put this together through Angie's office, and she was great. Sometimes you get mayor's offices that don't respond too quickly. I always get a call back. You know, that's why this was put together so well. So I want to thank Caroline for her help. And that kind of concludes the activity this morning. Feel free to stay around, talk, share some ideas, and we're going to eat the rest of the food too. Thanks for coming.